Using Zoom from your smartphone or tablet, many video conferencing and online collaboration tools allow you to participate in a session from your mobile device, but Zoom is unusual, at least among these tools, in allowing you to originate and moderate a session from your smartphone, if you wish. And that's what we're going to take a look at here. You will need the Zoom app, which is free and available for both iOS and Android from your favorite app store. We have the Zoom app on the smartphone here, as you can see. And what you are seeing here is a camera view of the smartphone on one side of the screen, and then a look at the Zoom website in a web browser on the other side. So we'll be able to see both ends of this session. To start a session on your smartphone is actually simpler than starting it on the computer. You just bring up your Zoom app, and you will have to sign in to start a session. Note that you can join a meeting without even signing in, but to start a session, we'll need to sign in. And since this is an iPhone 6, it's possible to sign in just with a fingerprint. And starting a meeting, we see schedule or host a meeting. There. Just select that. And then if we're ready to go, just pop the start button. And voila, a meeting is in progress with this meeting ID. Not much to see yet, but let's get over here in front of it. Rotate the phone around. And in order to get other people into the session with me, I'm going to need to give them the information they need to connect and let them know that a session is running. I can do that by going to Participants and Invite. And I can send them an email or a text message or a number of other ways. Now, all I have to do is put in my recipients' email addresses and send them this email. The URL right there is the URL for this meeting. So all they would have to do to join the meeting is to click on that URL. Alternatively, of course, they can just use the meeting ID, which is the last part of the URL there, the number. So we'll do it that way. So there's my meeting ID, 825-466-9471. So to join that from a computer or other mobile device, all I have to do is enter that meeting ID in the appropriate location. From the Zoom website, for instance, I can bring up the menu and select Join a Meeting. Then I can just enter that meeting ID and click Join. I'll go through the usual Zoom dialog. If I haven't run the Zoom connection client recently, it will run. In this case, that's been run, so I don't have to worry about it. Join the audio in the usual way. Very good. Now we're seeing both sides of this conversation. Cell phone on the camera on the right, and the viewing from the laptop on the left. Okay, so we have our participants in here with us. We'll now just proceed to talk to one another. We can, of course, do that in the usual way. The phone and the computer both have the microphone and speakers available. So we can just talk back and forth as naturally as we would if we were sitting in the same room. It's also possible to change the camera that we're using on the smartphone with a little camera switch icon there. And we can now see whatever the back camera on the phone sees. We can even use it to like a document camera. We could use it to show a document or show us writing on a sheet of paper. Switching back to the front camera, again we can see whoever is presenting. We can also communicate via text chat from the smartphone. We can do that by going to the participants icon and selecting Chat All. Then just type a message and send it, and that now goes to all the participants in the session, and they can of course answer. And there we are, back on the cell phone. So, the text chat works beautifully, originated again from the cell phone. Just back out of that, cancel out, and we're back on the cell phone. So we can communicate with one another by text and voice in the usual way in Zoom. But even more importantly, we can, from the phone, share not exactly share our screen, but we can share documents and websites with the attendees. We do that by clicking the Share Content icon. And let's say we want to share a document. We can share from Google Drive, free account. A Word document there. And just tap Share. And within a very short period of time, all users now have access to that. Users at the far end can see this document. I can zoom it on the phone and share it with them by scrolling up and down. I can stop a share just by tapping the share icon again. We'll exit full screen there so we can see what's going on. And we can then share let's go to Dropbox and share a PowerPoint presentation, something you might well do in a lecture. Once the file loads up on the cell phone, bingo, here's our PowerPoint presentation. And of course, they can see you as well in a little inset video. Very effective communication. It's also possible to share a website. Here's one I just happen to have in here. I just tap Share, and that goes out. And here's our instructional video how-to site, which includes directions on how to do things like this. So, it's possible to originate and moderate a Zoom help or lecture session from your smartphone, and to communicate with your students really just about as effectively as you can if you were originating the session on a computer. Yet you can do this from anywhere, literally just about anywhere that you have your smartphone with you and where you have some form of internet connectivity. This will work over a decent cellular connection as well as Wi-Fi. You don't even have to be in the local McDonald's to do this. So the freedom and the extension of reach that this gives you is truly pretty amazing. Just another incredible capability of Zoom.